Hello, everybody. Dorothy Morgan here. Been a longtime professional astrologer. We're going to talk about April 18th and what we have going on with that. Partway through, we'll get to the Astro Dice, then we'll get to these cards. Okay, so that's what we typically do every day. Let's get started. I'm going to share my screen with you. We are going to talk about that moon in Scorpio still. Oh, yeah. There it is. It's coming to make this connection to the lunar south node. Let me get this a little bit closer to that lunar south node. And that is really significant because this is all Scorpio energy. And throughout the day today, which is April 18th, there's a lot of deep and intense emotions that are coming to the surface. And if you find yourself in that situation, not everybody will feel this, but if you do find that you're things are just bubbling to the surface and it is like nearly impossible to manage them, that creates anxiety, right? So just remember to, we can honor those feelings. I get it. We can be in those situations and not judge ourselves when we're having deep emotions come to the surface. So that's something that I think is really important for some of us to consider today. Again, this doesn't mean everybody's going to be going through this. However, we will see it. We'll see secrets come to the surface, maybe out in the world or, even in your own world. The deepest things that, maybe you're afraid of or you don't want to come up are coming up now because circumstances are pushing these things to the surface for you to look at, to examine, and hopefully potentially to shift into what's next. And sometimes these processes don't feel great. So I can't sugarcoat this at all. And it doesn't. However, in hindsight, the deeper process of healing and transformation that the moon conjunct that lunar south node represents is definitely an important piece. And this is very close to the eclipse that we'll have coming up. Let me grab my ephemeris here on May 16th, because that eclipse is at 25 degrees of Scorpio. So the moon today moves through that degree of the eclipse. We'll have 1 month from now. So be aware. All right. Be aware of the process that you're going through right now. This is this is the flashlight, if you will, the light on that instance process, whatever. All right. So I also want you to know, let me share another screen with you as soon as I can get to my website. Speaking of eclipses, I will be doing a online lecture. Let me get to that. I don't know if I'm sharing this or not. Maybe I am. I have an online lecture, Circles of Wisdom in Methuen, Massachusetts will be hosting it. And so making personal sense of the spring eclipses, that lecture is on the 27th, 6:30 to 8:30 at Circles of Wisdom. It's my first in-person thing in a long time, since March of 2020. So let's go, Circles of Wisdom. All right. So I hope you can join us there. And it's on my website. So go click on that and find it out. Now, more astrology. There's always a ton more astrology that I want to talk about. However, come and join me on Patreon and help support me there, because this is my profession and I would love to tell you more. I do a great weekly, so come check it out. Today, now we're going to do the Astro Dice. So what do they want us to know? Maybe it will be additional information about what we've just talked about, or it could be something completely separate. Right now would be the time if you actually have an extra question or something that you can hit pause, think about it, and then I'll roll. And I'm rolling now. And then you can start talking. Oh my goodness. Okay. This does have a lot to do with what we're talking about today. I rolled the sign for Pluto in Libra in the 6th house. Pluto in Libra. That is the deeper transformation in relationships, right? Pluto rules Scorpio. We just talked about the moon in Scorpio, the eclipse coming up in Scorpio, the south node in Scorpio. That's Pluto's territory. And the roll of the dice gave me Libra. So that shows it is definitely about the deeper processes of those intimate relationships that's coming to the surface, the things that you have to deal with day in and day out, because the 6th house shows up too. And that is what that represents the details we pay attention to, or the details that are being shown to us. Pluto in Libra in the 6th house. So there is something here today on April 18th. Now, honestly, whenever you see this, when it comes to the roll of the dice and the cards, anytime you see this, if this is a great message for you, then this is your sign to pay attention to that. So there are many people, I even know a few that are just going through deeper relationship transformations right now. The process is incredibly difficult and painful. Honestly, it truly is. However, it leads us to what's next and to more growth. It's just like in the Northern Hemisphere here, November is December is the Scorpio season. And that's when October, November. And that's when things, all the leaves are on the ground and they're starting to decay. So in the spring, there's nutrients and nutrition to bring forth what's new. So this is, it is always difficult. I've been through relationship issues in my past. Who hasn't, right? Not too many of us haven't. Most of us have. We all know how that feels. You can tap into that energy and just feel how crappy it felt and how you never thought it was going to end, but it does at some point in time. This too shall pass. So if you have something that you're processing, process it. And if you've been fighting it, it makes it feel worse. So let's go through the process and take those steps. You've got the courage that you need to get through it. I feel I'm speaking to one or two specific people right here, even though, thousands see the video. I want to, don't forget, I'm going to pick a card now, but here on YouTube, the way you can support me best is, sure, you can donate, but you can also just click the thumbs up, make a comment below. Tell me, are you feeling any of these things? And only write what you're comfortable with, because this goes public. On YouTube, it's public. You can private message me though. Yeah, how are you feeling? What are those internal things that are coming to the surface for you? Yeah, the card I picked, talking stick. This is so appropriate because this is about listening to those who need to be listened to, taking your turn speaking, but in all truth, it's taking your turn listening. So this talking stick is quite a beautiful ritual and process to do in any group, any environment where people need to speak and others need to hold space and listen. And then you can say your truth and then listen. So let's be present. Let's take some deep breaths together and actually and be present. And that's so important, especially if you are going through some of these very deep, intense Scorpio processes. They are not easy. And I know, I feel you, and we'll hold that present space for you as well. All right, I'll leave you guys with that. Love and light.